A sunny afternoon to all, and welcome to day 2 of Solar Week 2024. As you know, Solar Week is a series of online broadcasts brought to us by the Mindanao Go Solar Movement, which rallies all of us Mindanaoans, you and I, to move towards a transition to clean energy in the region through solar. My name is Val Vestille, and I am your host for this week and for the rest of the days. But this afternoon, grabe ko kaswerte. Makaingon yung kong swerte kay ko because I will be joined, fortunately, by a co-fellow host from Mindanao who is an advocate herself. Now, she is championing for youth development, agriculture, and environment. Grabe, 3-in-1. Murag perfect ni good kay ni akong co-host. Please welcome to the broadcast my co-host for today, Zaira Dehing. Maayong hapon, Zaira.
Maayong hapon, Val. Thank you so much for that. Kana mismo, no, makaingon ako, wow, bongga kaya niya itong broadcast. Karon nyo, I'm so excited. I'm very eager to be your co-host today, Val. And of course, I'm very willing to learn about solar energy and how we can help our island, the Mindanao.
Right? As we are, residents of Mindanao, it's very important to talk about something as important as where we get our energy. Ikaw ba, Zay, born and raised baka diri sa Mindanao?
Yes, tatak Mindanaoan.
Taga-asa maka diri sa Mindanao, Zay?
Ako sa yun, kuan ako.
Sige.
I'm from Cagayan de Oro City, Barangay Kauswagan.
Correct! Kauswagan represent. Mayong hapon dira sa tanan taga Kauswagan ug syempre mayong hapon sad sa mga taga Patag, mayong hapon sa taga uptown area sa Carmen. Thank you so much for joining us and we hope that you will enjoy this afternoon session.
Right, I couldn't agree more. So daghan kayong salamat no sa nakatutok na sa ato karon akong ginikanan. Na very Mindanaoan jud kayo nang inananod the support, the energy that we have right now. And karon ato nang istoryahan, di ba right, Val?
And being someone from Mindanao, na ba kayo na-experience, Zay, no, nga na palngan og kuryente, na wala og kuryente, na brownoutan?
Muna akong pinakaunang heartbreak.
Ako?
Ang mapalungan og kuryente, maputol ang imong gitrabaho, pero muna makaingon jud ko karon na kalibutan pa ba ni or abuhan na? Nag-init naman kaayo.
Exactly. And that's essentially why we need to start our discussions on solar energy.
Now, Val, I understand that you have a theme every day and I'm so excited because today is our Technical Tuesday.
Yes, today we will focus on the technicalities of how solar energy can impact the lives of us here in Mindanao for the better. Speaking of themes, our theme for the following broadcasts is for Wednesday, ganahan kay Kani Zay, no, Woman Wednesday.
Ayo, ganahan na jud ko daan.
Yes, sa pangalan pa lang, Woman Wednesday is about women in the field of clean energy, particularly solar. And of course, for Thursday, we will be having Thrifty Thursday, which is about how solar energy can help us save on our electrical costs. And finally, Feel Good Friday. Every day dapat feel good.
Nice lagi kayo nga itong mga team.
Feel Good Friday, of course, is all about the good vibes on doing something for the environment and our island of Mindanao. Grabe.
Wow, ginhawag lalom because that's a very full-packed, jam-packed week for all of us, mga higala. And I am very eager to learn. No, I'm sure ato po mga viewers pod, this will be a very eye-opening week for me. And I am sure our viewers will also love to hear our discussions on solar energy and clean energy transition. So mga higala, stay with us till Friday, following the Mindanao Go Solar Movement channels on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
And it's flashed on your screens right now. Grabe kadaghan. We are all over social media. Mapa Facebook ba na? Mapa X, Instagram, TikTok.
Correct. Kung asa
Kompleto
ka na ame.
Kompleto ka.
Kompleto.
Ganahan ko, anak. Kung asa ka na ami.
Yes.
Oh, wala siya, anak, before. Huh? Uy, pero Zay, bitaw, we have a full-packed program and let's get the ball rolling as we look back on what happened during last year's Solar Week program. Please watch this video. We launched ang atong ginatawag nga Solar Suroy. Which was a call for our followers to submit their own video content on the existing solar that they see in Mindanao. We started with a solar suroy in the home of one of Northern Mindanao's most popular influencers, Miss Nicole Abbas. Na-realize na to sa atong solar suroy nga hindot yun magsuroy-suroy sa Mindanao kay daghan na ang gagamit ug daghan na ang makabenepisyo sa solar. Now, we get down to our Technical Tuesday and welcome our guests who come all the way from Nazareth. Joke lang, all the way from the Netherlands. You know, this country in Northern Europe is the continent's solar leader. It has a forward-thinking government which employs innovative solutions to overcome the lack of space. Welcome to the studio for Solar Week Mindanao, Mr. Minder Koch. Hello, good afternoon, maayong hapon.
Nice to be here. Maayo kayo. Maayong hapon. It was also like a stimulant sa gobyerno, no? The first mga solar panels were very cheap to install. No? The government really stimulated putting solar panels. Only later on, when the solar panels became very cheap, there was no more need for all the subsidies. So now there is a business model on its own. You know, you can really earn money from installing solar. In the beginning, it was really much more expensive. So then the government stepped in to really give nice incentives to install the solar energy.
I think that's a very clear perspective on your first step on making sure that communities adopt solar. How do you make it so? Make solar cheap.
Netherlands has become leader just a few years, just the last 1 year or 2 years, because before it was Germany that was much more advanced, and in the Netherlands it's started just, and then the prices of electricity started to rise very fast, and then that's people started to invest, and I think it's the big chunk of people who joined the movement of putting solar panels on their roofs are doing it because it makes money. It's their investment. Early people who put the panels on their roofs, they did it more out of climate consciousness, trying to help a little bit in curbing global warming, but the most people in the Netherlands who join do it just because it makes it makes them money. So it's a combination of making money and doing something for the environment.
If you look at the future, the energy coming from now the conventional method, it is not stable. Mindanao is a very good destination for solar. Although still the local companies, like here we work with Muelsi, is not very open yet, we notice, if we want to feed in the grid. Energy bills are rising, the prices are rising, it is now more than 16 peso. Well, and that's, I understand, one of the most expensive ones in the country, so that is also a stimulus for people to start thinking about installing solar energy, no matter how big or small it is. For the Mindanao Go Solar, I think it is a fantastic initiative. It is putting one seed in the ground, talking in organic farming methods, ways. That seed in the ground will be watered with new initiatives, with young generations, with the need to improve, with the support of the Philippine government and local LGUs who see that there's a new time coming up.
Thank you so much, Sir Evert, no? If there's one thing that really stuck with me, ang katong hindi na balik-balik pirmi nga, there's so much opportunity in Mindanao for it to go solar fully, for it to really be a leader in solar. And so I think we should take this to heart and realize that if Dutch people can see that for Mindanao, then kita, kapwa Mindanaoans, we should also see that for our own land as well.
Wow, grabe. You have been very busy since the whole week of last year. Grabe, ganan ko ani nga peg ni mo Val kay laagan with a purpose. Ay,
Correct. Ganan
gusto
ka
mo yan?
ganan ka ng laagan with a purpose. And yes, Zai, this is actually the third time I am hosting Solar Week since last year. No, ay medyo
Wow.
3 years na ko ga-host og Solar Week. May pa ang Solar Week nagdugay. Kami kay wala gyud.
Mga higala dito gikan sa ako ah.
Wala
Laro
pa
na
sa
to.
script. But yeah, seriously, there has been a lot going on since last year. And the Mindanao Go Solar movement has been busy. And we have traveled to so many places and corners of Mindanao to share the benefits of clean energy.
Yes, Val, I understand that they even went to the island in Zamboanga. To be exact, muna itong ginatawag na Tumalutab. No, this island has a school but only a few hours of electricity each day from a diesel generator. So imagine that. So with the help of our partners in the area and the Philippine Navy, Mindanao Go Solar visited this island community to install solar kits in the local elementary school. I'm so excited kung sa in-store, Ani. So let's watch this.
The idea of Mindanao going solar is a very noble one kasi it's something that the earth needs. I think we have to have sustainable energy and something that also doesn't hurt the environment. So we all know what fossil fuels can do, the harm they can do, and specifically dahil lang Pilipinas, we're one of the countries most affected by climate change. This is a very, very good idea. We're all for it. Personally, I'm all for it, but we also support this as an organization. The idea of sustainable energy, clean energy, will go a long way towards a brighter future for Mindanao and the whole Philippines.
Our organization is called Kids Who Farm. So we are a Zamboanga City-based non-profit startup and advocacy initiative that aims to provide a platform for the meaningful participation of young people in food security and local food systems transformation. So our main focus is to help educate our youth on the importance of food and farming, and at the same time build the capacities of our communities to grow their own food so that they can participate meaningfully in local food security solutions. Ang Kids Who Farm, ang amo ang contribution sa activity ang atong gibuhat karon, of course sa pagpanguna ni Mindanao Go Solar. Ang paghatag og technology transfer on container gardening para sa mga school kids diri sa Tumalutab Elementary School. At the same time, pag turnover o gamay nga support, no, mga seeds, gardening tools, o ang katong among gardenator, katong compact garden namo nga isa ka techno demo unsaon pagtanom og gulay sa isa lang ka gamay nga space. So just like sa advocacy ni Kinso Farm to create more self-sufficient communities o pag-address dito sa ato ang over-dependence on external sources of food, ang advocacy sa Mindanao Go Solar to make Mindanao adapt solar technology is very much welcome. So I guess at importante gid na siya maabot ta sa point nga we can be free from our dependence sa energy, sa food, no, at the same time. So kaning movement nga gisugdan sa Mindanao Go Solar really involves the community, and nakita man nato dire nga giunsa gyud no pag bring together sa Mindanao Go Solar sa different stakeholders para ang hisgutanan sa energy sufficiency, especially sa renewable energy, solar energy, mahimo siya nga maka-participate ang tanan, no. So just like what we're doing sa food security, everyone is a part of the solution, no. So pag-abot sa hisgutanan sa power and solar energy and how our communities can win themselves, no, sa dependence sa fossil fuel, importante nga everyone is involved. And the sooner we can work together to bring more communities into adopting solar technology, solar power as their main source of energy, the better for us, especially in a climate-defined future.
The idea of Mindanao going solar is actually a good idea as it gives a sustainable development in our community. We all know that there are other existing barangays or unacknowledged communities that are far-flung or that are very far from the, from the sight of people. So with Mindanao going solar, it actually provides a hopeful future for people to move forward, most especially in living their lives with ample and sustainable source of electricity that can sustain them. So for Mindanao going solar, my salute to everyone as this initiative is actually going to build better communities in the future. As this cause is still, starting its footsteps, there will come a time that your organization will be widely known and acknowledged not only here in Mindanao but also nationwide. So we wish you all the best and we hope to partner with you more in our future activities.
I think for Mindanao going solar, this is long overdue. I think it is time that the community, stakeholders, even the local government unit should really look into or even consider renewable energy. Not just solar in general, but renewable energy. May it be geothermal, but I'm very happy to know that there is such an organization like Mindanao Going Solar, who's very strong advocate for solar energy. Studies have shown that Mindanao has something that we are endowed with, where we enjoy a lot of good sunlight. So I think Mindanao, where the grid is also very limited because of power, I think it's something that we have to really consider at this time. It's long overdue, and I think it is something that we have to really push. We are very thankful that there is an organization such as yours, Mindanao Go Solar, that's really pushing. You're not selling solar, you're advocating solar, you're giving solar, you're educating people, you're by giving solar device for free. And I think it is not just about giving, but also about educating. As a global citizen, we have to really look into already the importance of what the Sustainable Development Goal is talking about, especially SDG number 7, which talks about renewable energy. For us to really be able to be more sustainable into our environment, we have to get out of the fossil fuel. So solar is one of the ways that we can contribute. So as a global citizen, it is call to action that we have to be aware. We have many ways on how we can contribute. And if you cannot be part of it, at least learn and at least talk about it, at least teach people about it. And I'm very glad to have learned about this organization such as yours, Mindanao Go Solar. Thank you so much for coming to Zamboanga City in a very far island, and continue what you're doing. More power. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. As in, wow, jud kaayo. You bring me back. We bring me back to, I've been to Zamboanga and
Yeah.
it's so nice to hear that story from Zamboanga, no? And mga higala, Val, isa ra gyud ako maingon. Solar power is power. Wow.
Correct. And of course, muchísimas gracias a todos sa tanan taga Zamboanga na tumanggap sa amin doon, tumanggap sa Mindanao Go Solar movement because we cannot reach all these corners of Mindanao if it were not for your help and support. As you can see, the Mindanao Go Solar movement has really tried to spread the benefits of solar energy to areas that may be very hard to reach. And usually, Zaino, these areas are these unreachable areas. They're the ones in the periphery. They're the ones in the underprivileged sector. And we're so glad that we are able to have this movement and have these movement on solar reach these areas na lisod kaayo para sa distribution grid. Now, to discuss more of what are the potentials of renewable energy, particularly solar energy, in helping communities in Mindanao, I had a chat gahapon yesterday, with our guest for today. Let us listen to the pre-recorded interview with the director of the Ateneo de Davao University Center for Renewable Energy and Appropriate Technologies, or CREATE. Here is Dr. Engineer Nelson Enano Jr. Please watch this. Solar, we have already established the idea with our movement followers that there is still, unfortunately, a considerable amount of people in Mindanao who do not have access to electricity and other modern energy services, and that a most efficient way of providing this public service is to bring solar photovoltaic technology and storage directly to these off-grid communities. But I believe we are seeing another layer of solar in terms of climate resilience. And we have with us this afternoon Doc Nelson, straight from Ateneo de Davao University, to answer some very intriguing questions about this exploration into that landscape. Maayong hapon, maayong adlaw, Doc Nelson.
Mayong adlaw, Val. Mayong adlaw sa tanan. Greetings from Davao City.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's head on over sa atong mga pangutana nga I'm sure daghan kaayo sa atong mga listeners karon ang interested to know more about what we are talking about. Let's head on over to the first question, Doc Nelson. I want to know, how do you see solar tech as an advantage in cases of extreme weather events?
Solar photovoltaic technology has a large potential in mitigating or addressing the power concerns during extreme disasters. No, we have found that because we had a study about the relation of solar photovoltaic and disaster response. No, in the time of Typhoon Pablo, when Typhoon Pablo strike Davao region in 2013, and the solar panels of Ateneo de Davao University were lent sa mga communities na nasalanta ni Typhoon Pablo, and that was the first, I think, the first case na tinest namin na ang solar panel ay makaprovide ng ng immediate kuryente need no sa community na strike na or nasalanta ng disaster. And so yung aming solar panel dito sa Ateneo de Davao University, around 25 to 30 solar panels, we lent that to the various communities that nasalanta ng bagyong Typhoon Pablo. And together with the solar panel, we had also included in it an inverter, a small size inverter, as well as battery system, battery. And then we were able to know that the solar PV system can indeed provide immediate response to electricity need, by providing lighting and also telecommunication. And we find that charging is very essential. During disaster, Kasi yun ang pinaka need nila na makontak nila agad ang kanilang mga relatives aside from lighting. So we put this solar PV system in strategic establishments such as the barangays, the parishes, and in other residential or residences na medyo strategic yung position niya doon sa community. And these establishments can provide or can manage or provide sort of protection na hindi maano ang solar PV system. So that was very that showed how solar PV system can potentially address the immediate need for electricity during disasters.
And I think that's very relevant, Doc Nelson, no? Kasi in any disaster situation, for example, Sendong, katong nahitabo diri sa Cagayan de Oro, I think the first thing that happens when a disaster strikes is a communications blackout. We never know the extent of the disaster or the extent of the risk until the communication lines have been restored. Murag, aya pa ta makabalo nga nabagyuhan day ang Samar, nabagyuhan day ang Cagayan de Oro only after the communication lines are back. So I think it's very powerful that we have that kind of infrastructure provided by solar para diretso na ang communication lines. And I think you said it very well, the solar panels that have been provided for, at least in the Davao perspective, in the Davao lens, has been helpful in that aspect of disaster. Now, Doc Nelson, based on your technical expertise, how do you see the relationship of solar energy and other clean energy technology to climate resilience? Can solar, hydro, can they work together? What are ways in which solar energy and other clean energy can really find synergy in this topic of climate resilience?
Yes. Distributed renewable energy systems such as solar PV system that is set up or installed in the local site has a very big role to play in improving our climate resilience. We are a country that is vulnerable to many natural disasters, such as typhoon or whatever big disasters that we experience here. And immediate provision of power is very essential. And we found that many times. So in that, we are actually advocating that we have to institutionalize this renewable energy system into the provisions of that need during the time of disaster. Kung pwede ang atong mga LGUs, kay naagad sila ilang sariling, especially solar PV system, na makarespond sa panahon nga na ay disaster. So we have known that many times, that a telecommunication need, lighting need, and during disaster are very essential that in order for us to respond and to recover quickly to the disaster. So we cannot wait for the on-grid electricity or yung ating mga distribution lines to be back again and provide the electricity. It would take like 3 months or 5 months or maybe more than that for these distribution utilities to set back their infrastructure. But if we do it in a distributed manner or a decentralized manner, in which maybe our barangays, our municipalities or cities or our province can already provide intervention in the aftermath of the disaster, then that is a more resilient way for us in Mindanao to respond to climate disasters. So we know the Philippines that we it's natural for us to experience climate extreme climatic events, and then we should prepare and we should institutionalize our preparation or our response to these disasters. So before in 2011, when we had that study on Typhoon Pablo, solar PV is not yet categorized as a material for climate or disaster response. But I think now it's easy to realize now that renewable energy or solar PV system is a material for climate response. And we have shown that many times by experience that solar PV system can provide us an immediate need, an immediate provision of electricity that will give us lighting and telecommunication in an instant.
High time for LGUs to find these innovations, such as the solar PV systems for our country, because as you said, yes, an average 20 typhoons pass through the Philippines, being our geographic spot in the world, In fact, sa World Risk Index, Doc Nelson, 'di ba? Top 1 si Philippines sa pinaka vulnerable to climate disasters. And it's not something to be proud about. It's not Pinoy pride nga top 1 ta. These are wake-up calls for our LGUs and really different stakeholders, multiple, various sectors of the Philippine society to look for ways to be more resilient in its approach of looking at disaster. So thank you for that, Doc Nelson. Now, this is a subject of debate, and I want to know your thoughts. Can we truly say that distributed solar for electricity is better than grid connection? In which cases is it better or not better? Why or why not? Can we hear your thoughts and insights on that, Doc Nelson, please?
Yeah. So these two infrastructure, on-grid electricity and distributed renewable energy systems should complement each other. The on-grid electricity provide the scale, because there is that scale of electricity that has to be given, and there is in a particular demand for electricity. So there is that role of large-scale infrastructure to provide that electricity, in which the distributed renewable energy system cannot provide at present configuration. While distributed renewable energy system has also a potential role to play, in providing electricity that is needed immediately on site. So there are many applications that would require that, such as those in the off-grid communities or those in areas that are experiencing maybe unstable or maybe we call them areas that are unserved or underserved areas, because the service of the qualities of service in the electricity provision in these areas are not that good. So in these areas, distributed renewable energy system has a very big role to play, off-grid areas and those areas that are unserved and underserved areas. But at this stage, given the technology sa ngayon, there should be these two infrastructures should complement each other. So we already have that large-scale grid, large-scale transmission and distribution grid, and we already have invested in this grid, and that provides us the large-scale quantity of energy and power. But there again, that large-scale infrastructure has not reached yung pinakamalayong lugar sa atin, yung pinaka-challenging na mga islands, yung mga nasa mga bundok, hindi naaabot ng ating on-grid infrastructure. And that where distributed renewable energy system should come in, no? And so microgrids is a solution, no? We are an island nations, and many of our communities are living in the islands, no? So, and normally what is being provided are diesel gensets, and that is not a clean alternative, no, for as an energy system. Now we have technology already that we can hybridize, no, solar PV system with battery, no, and maybe the genset is a backup. So we have to prove that now that can work, no, in terms of economically speaking, that is a viable option for our. We have that in PCSPAG programs that provides energy in many isolated communities. But again, that is based on gensets. But now with the technology we have, solar PV plus battery and a backup of genset can already is a very viable solution, technically and economically speaking.
Doc Delson, if kunwari may LGU na nakikinig sa atin ngayon and really interested to install solar PV systems, especially in undeserved communities, as you had mentioned, would you happen to know, and this is just a follow-up, no, price points on the difference between a solar PV system and a genset? Say I'm an LGU, I have budget for energy systems. Would you say that the solar PV system is cheaper or more expensive than the genset system? Practically speaking, no, I think our audiences would want to hear that as well. Would you know, Doc Nels?
Well, at present price, no, in the market, comparing a residential solar PV system, like for example, 2 kilowatt peak, no, of solar with net metering. And in comparison to small capacity gensets, no, maybe around that as well. Well, in the market, it is the genset is cheaper in terms of upfront cost, no. So when you say it would just require 50,000 pesos to have maybe a 5 kilowatt genset, no, and we compare that with maybe a 2 kilowatt or 5 kilowatt na solar, that would require more than 100, maybe 150,000 pesos. So in comparing the upfront cost of these two technologies, we could say that mas barato ang genset, no, kay 50,000 lang na natay genset. But we have not incorporated yet the cost of fuel, no. How much is the per liter of diesel, no, that is needed by the genset? While solar PV would require no fuel at all, no. So it just needs the solar irradiance, no, to run your solar PV system, and it would run around. Solar panel can last more than 20 years. So if we do economic analysis, no, comparing these two technologies, solar PV system would definitely is cheaper in the long run. So we have the term levelized cost of energy. That is the cost of energy all throughout the lifetime of an energy system, and it's not just about the upfront cost. No, the upfront cost is just the capital cost. No, while if we consider levelized cost of energy, we just not include the capital, but we also include the operation and maintenance and the fuel cost in reference to the energy produced, no, for the whole lifetime. So in terms of LCOE, solar PV system is a lot cheaper than the diesel genset. So kung ganun ang ating pagtingin, no, sa pagpili or pagpili natin ng which technology is cheaper, no, kung economics lang ating titingnan. So we are not incorporating yet the environmental cost, no, that is contributed by diesel genset, as well as the noise, no, of diesel gensets, no. So there's that social cost, there is that environmental cost, that are not integrated in the cost analysis. So kung economics lang, the upfront cost is diesel genset is cheaper because you just need 50,000 pesos.
Yeah.
While solar PV system of 2 kilowatt, you need 150,000 pesos upfront cost. But solar PV does not require fuel. It just needs sunlight, solar irradiance, and we have that very much in the tropics. You have around 6 kilowatt hour per square meter per day of solar irradiance, and around 4 hours or 4 sun hours in a day. That is a lot. No? And that is normal.
Yeah.
Being a tropical country, no. So using that zero fuel cost would definitely mas malayo ang difference ng dalawa, and therefore we can say the solar PV system in the long run is a lot cheaper than the diesel gensets.
In fact, it won't balance the cost. It will even be cheaper in the long run, as you had mentioned. No, and I think that's a very, very, very important perspective that prospect customers or katong mga mopalit o install og solar PV systems. That's an important perspective that they need to think about. These LGUs need to think about, diba? Because we don't think about the costs when we invest on something as important as our energy systems. We don't just think about the cost today. We think about the costs, how much that would cost in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. And then it's not just the capital cost, it's also, as you mentioned, and I would like to repeat it for our listeners, the environmental costs, the social costs, the fuel costs. So kung i-add up na lang yun na, mas mahal yun ang gawas sa genset. Bisan pag ang upfront cost, according kang Doc Nelson, kay 50,000 lang, cheaper than the solar PV systems. Much needs to be considered when you look at really the real costs of it in the long term. Thank you so much for that great explanation, Doc Nelson. No? Now, what do you see, Doc Nelson, are other applications of solar and clean energy tech that will help improve the resilience of Mindanaoans? Bukod sa diretso na electricity provision, what are these other benefits or other applications that will help improve the resilience of us Mindanaoans?
Okay, so solar PV system, aside from providing electricity, for our electricity need for lighting, telecommunication, but solar PV system has proven itself to be of use also to other applications, to other sectors, like in the area of water provision or water service, in the area of in terms of providing potable water or maybe irrigation. We have a project, a DOST funded project, in which we developed a solar desalination device in a floating community in Sitangkay, Tawi-Tawi. So Sitangkay is they are surrounded with seawater, but if even marami ang tubig nila, but they cannot drink the water. So there is a big need, for a potable water in that location. So that project was able to show that renewable energy, specifically solar energy, can produce clean water out of the available water they have there, na hindi pa potable. So solar PV system can be used or can power solar pump. In many indigenous communities na nandoon sa mga bukid, ang kanilang source of water sa river or sa sapa kay nasa ubos, and you need a pump, for the water to go up to a location where the water is needed. So solar water pump has been contributing a lot, that elevated the condition of our indigenous brothers and sisters, in these locations. Irrigation as well. So if you would like to go away from the expensive operation and maintenance of irrigation system, then solar can be a source, to direct water from one location to another to where the water is. Mas lang mga windmill or wind power, parang ganun din, no? So actually yung sa Netherlands na mga windmill nila, hindi yun para sa electricity provision, no? Malakas lang talaga ang hangin doon na kinakapture nila yung kinetic energy ng wind to pump the water, no, to higher elevation, because ang Netherlands is a low-lying, it's below sea level country, no? So they elevate the water through that wind pump. Sa atin ding case, because we have lots of solar, we don't have enough wind resource in Mindanao, then we can use solar energy to pump, no, the water from lower area to higher elevation area where the water is needed. And that has been proven in many locations that solar pump can work. And solar energy, solar PV system for irrigation can work.
Grabe man di ay kadaghan nga mga other applications ang pwede buhaton with solar and clean energy. And I think people should really open up, do more research siguro, listen to Doc Nelson sa mga pwede nga applications sa solar and clean energy that will affect what our water resources, our agricultural irrigation. Thank you for that, Doc Nelson. Now, we're near the end of our conversation, Doc Nelson. I want to know, how do you suggest Mindanaoans can take on the opportunity that rests in solar technology to build a sustainable future in the island, and of course, not only in Mindanao, but broadly for the Philippines as well?
Yeah. So I would say we have learned it, no, from the research we conduct here at Ateneo de Davao University Center on Renewable Energy, that renewable energy has big role to play. It is not just the participation of the private sector, no, that ang manguna, but it should be the government, no. I mean, we have lots of government agencies and establishments, and all these establishments have rooftops, no. So if we can really institutionalize that, all government buildings, no, should put up or set up a solar PV system, that's already a big reduction to our dependence on the on-grid electricity. So now we see roof as a resource, no? So there is already a budget. The government can always allot a budget for this kind of projects that improve our resilience to climate disasters, no? So why not all barangays, all municipios, all city halls, all eskwelahan, elementary schools, high schools, state universities can put up solar PV system in each of their establishments. And that would definitely reduce our dependence to on-grid electricity that is heavily dependent on fossil fuel. So the government ay dapat manguna sa movement na ito, hindi lang ang private sector, no? And then the private sector also, of course, can participate, especially those that already have perspectives on this, or those have na open na yung eye nila sa impact ng fossil fuel sa environment, sa impact ng fossil fuel sa climate change, sa pag-produce ng mga typhoons na tayo din ang victim. So the private sector should also be incentivized by the government, no? The government should provide an incentive mechanism, an incentive program in which the private sector could engage more in this movement, no? So in many countries, like in Australia, for example, I just mentioned that in Australia because I was able to study there for some years, and a big part of the cost, like 60% of the cost is shouldered by the government, no, and the remaining is shouldered by the consumer. So that is a way, no, na how the government can make innovative programs, not just on direct subsidy, but maybe it can develop innovative programs so that we can engage more the private sector. But now at the moment in the Philippines or in Mindanao, it is the private sector actually is the one very active in this movement on integrating solar energy PV system in Mindanao. Actually, we have a project here at MREC now in which we are quantifying on pila na capacity ang na-install sa mga consumer para magkaroon sila ng electricity gikan sa adlaw. So it's more on the consumer side action, no? So it's not the government side or the distribution utility, pero si consumer na, si residential, si commercial, si industrial consumers, ang naningkamot yun na magbutang sa iyang sariling energy system para siya mismo kay naa siya energy nga limpyo na dili makadaot sa environment, na sa panahon nga na disaster makarespond dayon siya kay tungod ay ang solar PV naghatag sa ihag kuryente o facility for telecommunication, and even solar panels are designed, no, to withstand a specific wind speed, no, so maybe around 300 kilometer per hour. Solar panels are designed to withstand that wind speed, but of course it has to ano din sa building code, no? Kung ang building structure niya ay is following the requirements according to the building code, that as well, no. So this I would like to emphasize, we in the Philippines, we are vulnerable to typhoon, to extreme climate events. Then we have to plan for that events. Hindi naman araw-araw may extreme climate events tayo, no, but we have to plan because regular normal yan sa ating lugar. So we have to institutionalize our actions to this climate response, and solar panels, solar PV system is one of that. And then solar panels can enhance the strength of your roofing, no. So and to some speed of a wind, it can improve or it can sustain damages, no, because of your roofing. Your solar panel on your roofing. So again, the structure of your building and the kind of hinges and the kind of fasteners that is being used to put your solar panels on your rooftop, no. So yun din ang tinitingnan. So dapat may agency na naglo-look out on the standards, no, of the solar PV installations, and that is the government work, no, so that we become more resilient, we become more ready and not very much affected sa impact ng climate change sa atin.
How beautiful would that future be to have a government who not only subsidizes but also incentivizes the use of solar energy systems, Doc Nelson, no? And I had a conversation with a friend one time, naghisgot mi nga ang roofs ang pinaka underutilized resources, no, nga naa lang diha ga hanging around in these subdivisions, for example, in these buildings. So why not use it to install solar PV systems? Thank you so much for that very practical suggestions, no, how we can move forward as consumers. In town ang nangamang ang nag-effort yun, no, kaya mga consumers unta mas ma-push pa nato ang efforts sa government incentivizing, government works, subsidy, kana nga mga stuff nga pwede unta tabangan through the government. And I think thank you for those case studies on the Netherlands and Australia, something that LGUs, something that our government can really look up to follow as models of use of clean energy. Now, Doc Nelson, no, do you have any suggestions zooming in on this Mindanao Goes Solar movement? Do you have any suggestions that of what Mindanao Goes Solar movement can do to further the agenda of a solar energy future for Mindanao? And siguro as a final word.
Well, I think you are doing the best thing or the right thing already, no? So Mindanao Goes Solar will just have to collaborate with other organizations, institutions, stakeholders that are also in the same advocacy, no? More integration of renewable energy in Mindanao. So there are already a number of stakeholders in Mindanao that are also in this. Like at Ateneo de Davao University, we have our Center on Renewable Energy, and we are building an R&D consortium, no, on renewable energy. We call it MREC. No, MREC is a collaborative R&D center on renewable energy in which we engage universities across Mindanao, so that our R&D on renewable energy is not just a work of one institution, but it's a collaborative work of many institutions that are in the same concern or in the same problem, and we would address that concern, no, on energy insecurity in Mindanao. So it would be good that universities, research institutions across Mindanao, we in Ateneo de Davao are building that consortium. So Mindanao Go Solar will just collaborate with these institutions that have already that are also in the agenda of renewable energy. And we can engage with the young people, maybe because they are the future of the land. No? So if we have to provide them the proper perspective, no, on responsible consumerism. I mean, responsible consumption of electricity. So we just don't consume electricity for the sake of consuming, but we also have to know paano na-produce yung electricity na kinokonsume natin. So it's just the same on consuming other commodities, but the same din yun sa electricity. Kung tingin natin, like 70% of the grid is coming from, is produced through fossil fuel, that should question our yung ating pag-consume ng mga bagay-bagay. So this should lead to responsible consumption. And then we should provide our young people that kind of perspectives. No, we mold them to responsible consumption, not just to other things, but also with electricity. Then we can engage the stakeholders, especially the government, no, the local government units, the barangays, the cities, municipalities, these local government units gyud na ay potential na makakuan gyud sa iyang constituents, no, na mag pursue or mag choose og cleaner energy system. So if we can rally together with this LGUs, no, we can identify, we can have heroes, no, from different stakeholders, no, heroes from the LGUs, heroes from the academe, heroes from the young people, and so on. So we just Mindanao Go Solar just collaborate with these stakeholders, and we can make that goal for Mindanao a more will have a more renewable energy being integrated, no, being used here in Mindanao.
It's really all about, as Doc Nelson had said, rallying together across different sectors. And that's it for our conversation this afternoon. Daghan kayong salamat, Doc Engineer Nelson Enano Jr., straight from Ateneo de Davao University. Thank you so much, Doc Nelson, for sharing your time, energy, and expertise.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation.
There you have it. What a great interview, Val, with Doc Nelson of Ateneo de Davao University. Murag, parang masasabi ko na kaya ko siyang pakinggan all day. Because speaking of power, kanina solar is power. Ngayon naman po, masasabi ko, education is power. Ang ganda nung sinabi ni Doc Nelson sa atin, no?
Exactly. Kabalo ka, Zay, alam mo, Zay, doctor na, engineer pa.
Wow naman.
So we were really talking to the right person when it comes to really knowing the impact of the use of solar energy systems in our climate resilience efforts, and para bang may proof of concept na. There's already a proof of concept of why solar PVs are helpful and indeed effective when it comes to times of disaster, which alam naman natin, Zay, di ba, as Filipinos, na dinadaanan ng typhoon every year, 20 typhoons on average. So I think I love that conversation because it really placed into context the importance of why we need to transition to solar PV systems as well.
Yes, and can I just add the potential of having parang knowing the renewable energy and the power of solar energy. If I can say, I'm very part of the survivors ng Sendong. And if that time nalaman natin yung kahalagahan ng solar, nung kasagsagan na wala tayong kuryente, walang power lahat. So parang if you got to have the right mind na malaman yung mga bagay na yun, napakagandang tulong sa future generation na magkaroon ng mga ganitong bagay. Naiiyak ako.
Huwag mo na umiyak. Patapos na tayo. Pero yeah, I think we saw the impact of that conversation with Doc Nelson. And we thank you, Doc Nelson, for being with us and joining us, sharing that conversation from Ateneo de Davao University. Daghang salamat, Doc Nelson.
Yes, and aside po kay Doc Nelson, Mindanao Go Solar would also like to invite and thank our fellow, and I will invite once again kayo pong lahat to our solar exhibits in CDO, Zamboanga, and Davao. Now check out the schedule flashed on our screen. Ayan, makikita po natin the first leg of our social exhibit is already this Friday, April 26 at Ayala Mall Centrio First Floor Bridgeway. Now catch solar retailers and exhibitors on display and visit the Mindanao Go Solar booth for solar information and a chance to win prizes.
Wow, wow, wow. And speaking of prizes, kakahapon, we were distributing our umbrellas, no? Nalibog na ko, Zay, if magtagalog or magbisaya ko. Kay,
What?
naatay mga viewers and mga listeners. Meron po tayo mga viewers and listeners not only from Mindanao but as far as Camarines Sur.
Wow, we are nationwide.
Nationwide po. So hindi lang po Mindanao Go Solar, kundi ang buong Pilipinas, it has gone solar. Let's siguro say hello to our friends on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. No, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. And we will do our best no to speak in Tagalog and in
Yes.
English as well, so we can communicate with you as well. And speaking of communicating with you, now is the time for you to engage with us because we will be having our daily trivia session. Kahapon, we would like to say congratulations to Sofia Ariate, Juan Miguel Baang, and Jairel Lopez for winning our Mindanao Go Solar exclusive merchandise. Paano ba nila nakuha? Bakit sila nanalo sa ating papremyo? Because they were able to answer the trivia question correctly and they won a UV umbrella each from Mindanao Go Solar.
What? Meron silang UV umbrella.
Hala.
Now, look at me, guys! Yes, kung na-excite kayo sa UV umbrella, mga kapatid, kapamilya, meron po kami ibibigay ngayon. Ang ating papremyo ay isa namang cute bucket hat from from our solar family, no, dito sa atin ngayon. And you will get the chance to win this kung makukuha nyo po ang tamang sagot sa ating solar trivia. Ayan,
Grabe,
paano ba?
grabe ka dyan, Zaira. Mukha kang Korean K-drama idol. Anyong haseyo.
Ano kasi, pero parang pabundak. Yung Korean.
Now, if you want to get a chance to win this beautiful bucket hat, you can do so by answering this trivia question, commenting down the correct answer to my trivia question below, then comment down sa live stream natin. Are you ready for our trivia question? Zai, are you ready?
Very labanan ng keyboard warriors po
Labanan
ito.
ng keyboard warriors. Maraming mga keyboard warriors natin ngayon hapon. Now, my solar trivia time question is... Drum roll. All right, your question. What is the most abundant energy source on Earth? A, solar. B, wind. C, coal. Again, what is the most abundant energy source on Earth? A, solar. B, wind. C, coal. Now, comment your answers now, and the first three to answer and comment will win. And the Mindanao Go Solar staff will send the winners a message on how to claim your prizes. Let's see. Ating mga first ones. Okay. First na ang unang nakasagot ng tamang sagot ay si SK Ye. Grabe. Saan nga pangalan? Ano klaseng pangalan to? The correct answer is solar. That's right. Di ba ang questions like, what is the most abundant energy source on Earth? And if you ask, why is it the most abundant energy source? Because that's the sun. Siguro walang sun sa from evening on, pero sa other side of the world, meron sun.
Correct. And of course, kung matatanong nyo, bakit niya nakuha yung sagot na yun? Simple lang.
Bakit?
Nakinig. Sa ating broadcast.
Correct.
Sumama.
We
Every week.
Exactly. We would not be having Solar Week if we did not know solar was the most abundant energy source.
Right.
So congratulations to SK Ye, our first winner. And our second winner is Atat S. Roque.
Wow.
Congratulations to our second winner. You win yourself a bucket hat. Parang gusto ko din.
Right. Ang cute ng mga names ng mga viewers natin. Alam mo si SK eh? Pangalan niya yan.
Pangalan talaga.
Oh,
Hindi siya sangguniang kabataan.
Yung apelido niya, lahat. SK ang lahat. Please!
Baka tomorrow mag-work yan.
Sorry. Tuesday ngayon.
Tuesday.
Sorry. Yung parang creative, medyo nasa Friday.
Medyo nasa
so,
Friday.
Baka magkikita tayo mga
Baka magkikita
the
tayo
next
sa
days.
Thursdays, I know.
Mali naman yun in my mind.
Okay, let's see. Ang dami na nag-comment. Pero sino ang ikatlong winner? Congratulations to Kyle Opeña, who
Wow.
answered solar. Congratulations, Kyle. You win yourself, ito model, Zai, a bucket cap with
Hindi pala
a
ako.
Mindanao Goes Solar exclusive na merchandise.
Yes, so
Okay.
hindi lang isa, dalawa, tatlo yung ating lucky winners of the day.
So our Mindanao
Wow.
Go Solar staff will send a message to the winners on how to claim your prizes. And if you did not win today, no need to worry kasi may bukas pa. And who knows what the prizes will be tomorrow. So stay tuned every day to our solar broadcast.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations once again to our lucky winners. And ngayon, Val, parang it's the time to say goodbye
Oh no!
to our viewers and to our friends from our Technical Tuesday episode.
Grabe.
Bye-bye na.
Please stay. Please stay.
Wow.
Kasi I was not able to make them stay. Wow! But I will be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, for Women Wednesday. Watch out for our guests and discussions tomorrow on women in sustainable energy, particularly solar.
Yes, very exciting yung Wednesday. Pero exciting na naman po ang ating Thursday. Allow me to share that this Thursday, we will have our Thrifty Thursday now. Very spicy. We will give tips and have discussions on how renewable energy, particularly solar, can save your money, not to mention can save very well our planet. So watch out for that.
You know, Zai, even though you will not be here tomorrow, I know for a fact that this will not be the last time we will be sharing this Solar Week platform because I had fun hosting with
Thank you so much. It's really a nice day.
Parang
So,
maganda na may partner talaga.
talaga.
No? Sa
Solar pa
hosting.
ba? Solar pa ba yung pinag-uusapan?
Sa hosting lang naman. So thank you everyone for watching us today. This is day 2 of Solar Week 2024. This has been Val Vestil.
And Zaira Dehing sing
Mindanao Go
Solar!
Solar!